Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. This is a live session for my group just because I've had some questions from the YouTube viewers who are getting the recording in YouTube about the group and about the videos and about everything about us. I've had a ton of questions from, I think, over 60 questions. Some of them repeat themselves. The number one question I'm getting from traders who are seeing us for the first time is, what is your group about and where you are, and how do I join your group and all of that stuff. So I'm going to make a very, very quick 1-2 minute introduction as fast as I can. So we are a group of traders that exists for a very long time, I think more than 6 years now. And we have hundreds of traders, over 500 traders in the group right now. We had more, but some of the traders have not been active in trading. For whatever their reasons, some of them left the group, some of them were kicked out of the group. So make it short, we have a very active, vibrant group of professional traders. We are on Workplace on Facebook. That's a secure site. It's a paid site. If you join us, you would only have to pay $4 a month to stay on Facebook. That's $4 a month you're paying to Facebook, not to us, right? Just to have access. It's wonderful. The platform is amazing. So I think it's worth the $4. You get live stream like this. This is a live stream on our platform right now in our group. So if you wake up anytime, you can join or you can watch it. You can watch the recording. It's live stream there. It doesn't have to be uploaded. There are many other features in the group. The group allows us to have subgroups of people who trade crypto, people who trade stocks, people who trade indexes, people who, do practice sessions, have subgroups of where you can post charts on stocks, charts on cryptos, charts on commodities. All of that is in there. If you've ever used Workplace, you understand. There's a lot of features we have in the group that we do. And we also have a live trading room, right? What is a live trading room? People ask me, what is your trading room? The trading room is it's an interactive session. All of you know Zoom, where you can interact with people. Our trading room is on Zoom. So all the traders who are available to trade at any hour of the day get on there, discuss trades, take the trades, register it as a trade taken, and discuss what happens to the trade afterwards. When it's closed, whether it's a loss, whether it's a win, whether it's a break even, whether the trade was canceled, updates happen on that platform. So to make things short, that's what we do. We trade every day together. If you want to join us, send me a Skype message, and I will give you all the details of what you need to do to join. So let me just type my Skype again. It's type MANGAL 457. Just in case you didn't understand what I typed there. Mangal 457. Send me a message and you will get all the details on how you can join us, the cost of the course, and whether you can be an installment payer if you can't afford to pay for the course immediately. We have installment groups. Most of the people who started paying their installment last year are already in the group. They're already with us, and I think they're all happy about it. I'll probably have the people who took the installment course give us a short 1-minute review testimonial so they can let other people know when they joined, how they got on, whether they still like it or not, right? Whether it's worth taking or not. I can tell you some of the people who have stopped the installment a couple months ago, maybe because of COVID for different reasons, I don't know why, have come back and paid out and joined the group. We've had 2 people who stopped for like 6 months and then they came back and they paid out. We thought they were gone and they came back, they paid everything and they joined. You don't lose your money once you start the installment. You can come back. If you paid for 4 months, you can come back and start. People have been paying for 4 months, take a break. They came back after 2 months and started paying, and they continue. One guy paid for 1 month. He disappeared. Never heard back from him. Never answered. He came. That was early in the year. He came back. He said, can I go back and take your course now? I'm sure, why not? And he said, okay, does the money I paid for the 1 month count? Sure. So he went and he paid for the entire course minus the 1 month he paid. He just decided now he's going to take the course. I don't know why. Maybe he stopped trading there, but now he's willing to start trading back. Right? I have no reasons why people do things. Right? They do it because they have their own reasons, just to let you know. Good. Another thing, a lot of people have been saying, welcome back. I haven't gone anywhere. This group has been functioning effectively forever. We haven't stopped. We just get better at what we do. Right? We've moved to the workplace. We're more effective. The trading room is working more effective. So I haven't gone anywhere. I just was absent from YouTube for a while because there was a lot of noise there. And I hope there isn't going to be a lot of noise there now that I'm there, right? If you don't like what I do, if you don't like these videos that I put, don't watch them. That's so simple. Save your time, save your energy, save everything, save your nerves. Don't watch them. If you like the work I do, if you're getting benefit from the forecast that I'm doing and the webinars are good for you, watch it, share it, make a comment, like it, pass it over to a friend. Maybe he would like it too, and maybe he'll tell you thanks for it. And I hope you, if you like it, you can support us by sharing and making comments so that the search engine will promote it more to other people. It's not a secret. They tell you the more active your video is, more likes it gets, the more comments it gets, the more people share it, the more the search engine will see that as something of use and will promote it to other people. So thank you for your support. Let's go. Any more questions, send me on Facebook or on Skype, and I will answer them either here or you'll get the answer there. Let's go. Dollar index. So I've done 4 videos already for this week. This is the 5th video for this week. Next week, again, you will have a series of videos, 5 more videos next week, plus 1 with the daily analysis, which means with the daily charts analysis, which means long-term forecasts on the daily charts, daily and weekly charts. So that will be done on Sunday. So if you're going to be available on Sunday, you might keep a lookout on Sunday on the YouTube page. It's going to pop up there for you. Let's go. Dollar index. So we've been looking at dollar index, and from the first day I told you we were expecting it when it was going up that we will expect it to come back and tag this low before it goes. That's the long-term forecast. If you follow me and you go on Sunday, you will get that forecast. Share it as much as you can, because that one is for longer term. So you can share it with anybody who trades long-term, short-term, and think they will have a view of where it's going, right? So we're still expecting this to go down. But like I said yesterday, if this turns out to be a flat, and because of the way we look at patterns, that is a possibility, they might retest the top, then come down. Now, we're looking at a possibility of a contracting flat here. And if you've been following me since Monday, I said we don't make forecasts on the contracting flats simply because these contracting flats can be misleading and they become running flats in the future. So I'm not going to go into details of how that happened and why it happened and how we look at these patterns, right? All of that you get in the group. I'm just telling you what we do and the way we look at charts. And that has happened many times. That is why we're telling you that, you know, it happens, because we've seen that many times. So if this started to go up today, like I said, not just a move up. Remember I said we ignore that move unless we get a correction and a move up, right? We get something to buy. We didn't buy anything in that because there was no buy setup. The same thing here. You're actually getting a sell setup, which is a good trade for us if we put it in sell entry. What if it goes up? And I think this is a question where people are confused with what we do. So I would look at this and I'd say, guys, we have a sell setup. We will put a sell here. I wanted to go up a little more before I put the sell. There's a reason why I wanted to at least come back to this level and then put the sell here, because if it drops from there, we want the trade. We have a very clear idea what it could do after that and how we're going to manage it when it does that. There are many things it could do once it drops into that area and tag you. We have blueprints as to what we should do in every single case that could happen. I mean, every possible case that could happen, we have discussed and we have created a blueprint as to how to react. What's your next move? If it tags you, it goes back up. If it tags you, it stays there. If it tags you, and it continues to fall. Those are the 3 things, right? But they could happen in numerous different ways. It could tag you and stay for 6 hours, stay for 1 hour. It could tag you, go back and come back down. It could tag you, go down and come back up. All of those are situations, and we have blueprints for every one of them, which means we have rules as to what we will do, right? So this trade we're interested in. So what if it doesn't tag me? What if instead of remember we said it could still go up and make a running flat. So what if it continues to go up? You'd say, why aren't you buying it? Well, we don't have reasons to buy it as yet. We don't have a setup that says, you know what, this thing will continue to go up. It could come exactly here and start to drop. Now, if you ask me, well, why you think it could do that? Well, there's a possibility this is happening. We don't know that as well, right? That's another pattern that could form. If that pattern formed, then we also have a set of rules and a strategy how we're going to trade that pattern. But until that happens, there's no sense talking about it, but we have strategies for all of that. So what I'm going to say is right now, as it stands right now with the information we have, we're looking for the sell setup. If that changes within the day, we will discuss it in the trading room and we will change the view. You will not get that. because I cannot every couple hours update the charts on YouTube. And you're not going to get it until Monday, what's the new view or whether that same view still holds. Right? But if it happens, great. It's either not going to happen or it's going to tag you. That's one of the two things. And when it tags you, then you start managing the trade. So we're expecting downside. I still think it could go. If it comes back higher than that, we cancel a trade. We look for another setup. We will decide whether this is going to come back down or whether this gives us a buy setup. Either way, we will take the trade, whichever one comes. So that is a little details of people who are just watching this for the first time, or some people who've been watching me for years and still confused as to why you keep looking at these patterns differently sometimes, because structure changes. And I think that's one of the differentiation of what I do from what Elliott Wavers do, right? They put an ABC and they're assuming that, well, that has to be just an ABC and about it, that pattern finish and correction is finished and it's going up. And I'm like, boy, you'll be surprised. Correction stays in the same place for years sometimes. We have seen corrections that went on for 5 years. And then the big impulse come on the daily charts and the weekly charts. Right? And even on the 4-hour charts, you can see the punk had correct for months before it actually breaks out. So it's not just an ABC or a WXY or WXYZ. It becomes much more complex than that. In final, it will be a 3-wave structure. If you combine the waves to make, 3 for 3 and then 3 into 3 again, you will eventually have to have a 3-wave structure. But that's technical thing. Let's come to the simplicity one. We're looking for a sell setup. Silver, we were looking for the buy. I don't think we got tagged because I had the entry order in and I didn't get tagged on that one. It's probably a little higher than where this is, or my broker didn't tag me. So we were not tagged in that. As a matter of fact, this entry order we had when it was here, and this piece was going up here. So once it dropped here, by rule, we should close it. I didn't close my entry order, but I was not tagged in it, which might be a little lucky for me, right? But even if I was tagged, my stop should have been here on the bigger one if it pulls back to this level. If it just stays in here, my stop would be here, but I wouldn't be in that trade because I have to close the trade, right? So I didn't get tagged and I didn't get stopped out. So what we're looking at now is two things. What is it doing? Is it coming back down, or are we just making a bigger correction here? Are we making a bigger correction here for the upside? Remember when we started Monday, I said when they channel like this, we are always expecting the channel to either be a running flat and they go or they drop. This turns out to be a bigger running flat, this one, right? We had this trade on Monday. We closed it for break even. We had this trade. We closed, sorry, 2 trades. Let me go. We had this one. We closed it for break even. We had that one. We closed it for break even. There's reason because they're not going. Some of my traders took this, which means they close it for break even when you see that channel. We put it above that channel. If it was a small running flat, it would go. If you got tagged, you close it on the way up back. Right now, we're not in the trade and we don't have a setup. So if we're going to trade this, we can still leave this as a buy here with a stop under this low. That is still a possible trade setup if this takes off. And silver has ability to take off, just take off like a rocket, right? So if that happens, this would be a trade. If it consolidates here, we'll sell to retest that low. So we're going to sell it with the expectation that we're coming back, way back to retest the low. And we were expecting that it could do that. On the bigger picture, I showed some of you what we're looking at. The possibility is this could come back down, especially if it starts to consolidate more here rather than go back up really fast. So we're looking at the possibility that this here could be a running flat. So that means this could come back here. If we get a sell setup, we'll take it. Go to the 1 hour, wait for the sell setup. If we get a sell setup here today, we'll take it. Right now, it's not giving you a sell setup. So the entry order for the buy would be on top there. Once we get into trading, we'll put an entry order for a buy here. That is just in case this takes off like a rocket. That is why we would put that entry order. If it goes slowly up, if this goes slowly up, we will not keep that entry order. That will change the strategy of how we're going to trade it. Gold is the same thing. This came down, and you can see that this small channel here broke as expected. It didn't go far, and now you're getting this one, which looks to me like a flag in the making or a correction in the making, and that looks upside. So if this breaks out, we buy. If it consolidates here, I would not sell because we're getting a channel to the downside now. If it consolidates there, all it's doing is making a channel to the downside and not falling. So we don't have a sell setup as yet. Sorry. Euro went up as expected. And yesterday, if you took this trade, I told you can take this, you can take this one. This one might have been a break-even trade. But if you took this, you probably, especially if you didn't close it, you survived that one up, right? So now we have this pattern with an expanding flat in the middle. And it's going up slowly where we can expect euro to go. Let's put it in the 4-hour. We can expect euro to go all the way back to this level. So the question is whether this is the one that is going to go. Well, we don't have any proof of that as yet. But once we get a 4-hour correction, that would confirm that we're going up to the top there. So for now, any 1-hour flags we can take, but we'll have to be cautious because one of this will come to a 4-hour correction and then go. So if you're buying the flags, especially with the slow movement in it, you'll just have to manage it, which means don't keep it longer than you should. Don't go sleep with it, take it off if necessary. I would like to see this pull back here today. I don't think we're going to pull back here for a bigger flat. It's possible that we might be looking at this one incorrectly and this is a smaller one of its own. That is possible. If that is the case, then this drops very hard. We don't really have a sell setup. I'd wait for a flag and then sell. If it just drops in one move and start to go back up, we'll buy. We'll get a buy setup. So just like this one, you get a buy setup there and you'll buy. We'll buy that one. Sell it. We don't have any sell setup, so there's no reason trying to sell that. Pound, you can sell the pound. We would look for sells in the pound. And there are many reasons why we would look for sells in the pound. Remember, we were not buying the pound. Go back and look at my video from Monday coming to today. We're not buying the pound. We're selling the pound. We're looking for sell setups in the pound. Every sell setup we get, we will take, but we're not taking the buy setups. Can it go up more? Absolutely. I could even see this piece coming back here and going back up. If it breaks this top, we might consider, because that might be a bigger impulse to the upside before it comes back down. But most likely, what I would do is I'll wait for it to drop. If I get any flag anywhere in here, we will sell. All right, any flag anywhere in there, we will start selling. And the reason is because of the bigger picture. It's not the small picture we were focusing with. The small picture is just for the entry. The bigger picture of this move, eventually it breaks down. So we're waiting for that to see if we get a breakdown, and then we'll get a very good risk to reward trade. Aussie came back to the top. So if you bought Aussie from here, we closed that for a small profit. If you bought from here, you close to break even. Yesterday, some of my traders got tagged in this one, but they closed it for, they could have closed it for break even, but they closed it for small loss. So this one, you got tagged here, it go back up there, you had a chance. That's a break even trade for us, but they saw it a little later. There were 6 hours to close it. Eventually close it for a small loss, maybe here, and that's okay. Nothing's wrong with that because the stop was, I think our stop was here on that trade. So this would be a very small loss in it. It's coming down back. So the question is, remember what I told you. Once it breaks this low, it's going to go up. The question is, when it comes to this area here, what happens? Do we go down back again? It's still a big correction for upside, but that correction could have one more leg down and then go up. So if it's making that leg to the downside now, we could get a buy setup if we get a flag. Sometimes it makes flag, sometimes it doesn't. There you probably get a flag somewhere. If we get a flag somewhere, we will sell this back to this level. And once it breaks this low, we're looking for upside. It might not break that low. It might come very close to it, but that would be a buy setup. So we will still look for the buy setup and the longer term trade for this. The bigger trade is to the upside. So even if this comes back here, we're looking for this trade up. This would be a very good trade once we get into that. So especially if it comes and retests the low now, that becomes an amazing trade. What if it doesn't retest the low? You can still buy. It will just be a deeper correction in the up move. New Zealand, I'm in the New Zealand trade. I didn't take the Aussie. I'm in the New Zealand trade, and it tagged me here. Came down. By rule, I should have closed it. I didn't for positive. The stop loss is here. It went back. By rule, I should have closed it here. By our own rules that we have, I should have closed it there for break even. I didn't because I was asleep, and it's back here. Well, I'm not very worried about it now that I've seen this pattern. and my stop is here, I have moved the stop to this level, which means I've had a slightly smaller percentage of risk on. But the reason is because we're just making a bigger flat here for upside, as far as I can see it. So what I will do is two things. This is a little details I shouldn't be giving, but hey, you're watching my video, so I'll do you a favor. Two things. If this is going to go down, it will start to make a correction at some point here. I'll close the trade if I see a corrective structure going up. Now, if you don't know what a corrective structure looks like, then you'll have to join us to know that. I'll close the trade. That would be a very, very, very small loss. If it goes back up sharp, if it goes back up here very sharp, don't break out of the top. I would close the trade. That would be positive because it's going to come back down, right? Even if it goes up with a 1, 2, 3 structure to the top there, it will come back down. So I'll close the trade. So most likely I'll close this trade today for break even and then wait for that consolidation to finish. I still think there are more moves in that consolidation, more waves in it before it takes off. I don't think it's coming back to the low. I don't think it's coming back here. We don't see any sign of that. But like I said, if it starts to consolidate for a drop, I would close the buy and go for the sell. I don't see that happening right now. So let's go. Swiss. Swiss, amazing, right? So if you've been following me from Monday, you should actually go and move it to the Swiss chart and watch every piece of that starting from Monday. So where were we Monday? What was the date on Monday? Anybody remind me? Today is the 22nd. Monday was what, the 18th? Let me just check it very fast so I can give a review on this. Yes, Monday was the 18th. So let's go on the 18th. The 18th was here. This is where we were on the 18th, going up. If you remember, right? So we said, if this is a contracting flat, we're going to take off. So we can buy here and put the break even. And then it starts to consolidate there, right? So when it consolidates there, what we said is that if it breaks out of this on Tuesday, I said, if this break out, we will buy. But if it comes back down here, we would look at this as a flat here. We would expect it to go back up here. And if we look at this as another flat, we would expect it to come back and break this low. So watch all the videos, this specific piece. You can take snapshots of this specific piece every day and create your own video so you would understand how we look at patterns and how they behave and why they behave that way, right? Those were exactly what I said. You can look at it. That very likely could come back here, break this low. And if that happens, we will all be very happy. So right now, I think you realize I'm a happy person because that happens, not because it happens, but because when that happens, what we're expecting is a big move up. So that is why we're all very happy. So now as soon as we get a buy setup, we're going to go into it. It doesn't mean as soon as it tags the low, we buy it. Because it could tag the low and still go a little lower and a little lower and a little lower and a little lower and then take off. So what we're all waiting for now is give us a buy setup. And we would definitely be in that trade. So if we assume that this here is a big consolidation, and very likely that assumption could be correct, we'll go up. So now that I told you that and that happened, let me give you another piece that we're looking at. So some of my traders, and I also think that is possible, this could still be a contracting flat. So we were right in that being a contracting flat the first time. And this is a 1, 2, 3 pattern. Now, if this was a flat here, and we are coming to retest the low, then we would probably have dropped from that point. That is my view. It wouldn't have made a big move up to the top there. But because we didn't break the top, it still remains an option that this could come and test the low. That's rare, but possible. So in our group, we're watching it, and there is a discussion where some traders are saying, so can we probably still go down? I mean, this is just a deep pullback. We can still go down based on the way patterns behave. And I said, yeah, maybe. But because it pulled back so deep, my view is that no, we're not going to go down. But let's see. I could be wrong on that because this is just a clear view. This is more of an opinion of what you think the pattern is, right? The confirmation of the pattern is what we're going to trade. So if we see a consolidation here for a sell, especially if it's a bigger consolidation, I would sell like everybody else to the downside. If we see a buy setup here coming today, which means you go up and you get a flag here, we will all buy this. Anywhere between here and here, we get a flag. We're going to be buying it for the bigger move to the upside. Clear? I don't think I can explain that part clearer than that. You should really go, if you're not in my group is okay, they understand that. If you're not in my group and you're seeing this for the first time, or if you've been following me or whatever, take snapshots of those small pieces of videos on this chart, because it's amazing the way it developed and how I've been explaining it to you step by step why we think this could happen. So now it happened. Let's see again. That's wave analysis, and that's how we look at wave analysis, different from Elliott waivers. Again, anybody who's Elliott waivers, we are different because we look at patterns that continuously develop and could change. So if you think that patterns are very strict 1, 2, 3 or WXY, you're wrong. It doesn't behave that way. They continuously develop and change. The problem is, can you recognize that change coming? Can you see it the way it's developing? And that is what we do in our group. We continuously look at them, and that's why we have a trading room that works 24/7. Even Saturday, Sundays, traders are there. I see the guys Sunday discussing trades. I'm not there, but they do still come Sunday early and discuss trades, which is good. It's always there for them. So go to the yen. And the yen was another discussion we had in the trading room yesterday of what this pattern could be. So right now, I am in this yen trade. I didn't get to tell you guys about it, but I put that entry order in this morning when I woke up and I saw it. So let me just check, see if I'm tagged. Give me a second. Dollar yen. No, I'm not tagged, but the entry order is there. So it probably would tag me a little. Let me see why I'm not tagged in it. Oh, not here. I think I am tagged, not on that account. I put it in another account. 1 second. Let me just check to make sure if I'm tagged in it. Give me 1 second, because I should be. Yes, I am in the yen trade, not this account. Sorry, it's in the Saxo account. So I'm in the yen trade up. We can still have a chance at putting this one. So what I was looking for was this piece here. We have a contracting flat possibly forming here. Yen does that very often. It could become a running flat. Stops have to be put here, and then you'll have to manage the trade if you get it, right? So what am I looking for in this pattern? And yesterday we discussed it. The possibility is this is a corrective structure here. You've got a 1, 2, 3 down there. You've got a 1, 2, 3 up here, which is what the Swiss did. The Swiss is already at the bottom here. So we can still anticipate that the yen could come back here and then go. You could get a drop again and the yen down. After it come back, come up here, drop again, and then go to the upside. We're definitely buying the yen every time we have a buy opportunities, right? So why would I take this? There is still a chance that internally here, this is the 1, 2, 3 for a contracting flat in this one. And this is 1, 2, 3, because this one is pretty huge. It's more similar to this, and this takes off. I don't like the contracting flats, you know that. I'm not a fan of contracting flats. So we will take it here, and when it comes here, we'll put the break even. So we'll take it in the trading. When it comes to this stop, we'll put the break even, and then we will see how it goes. If it doesn't go and it goes very slow, we'll still put it to break even. There's a good chance it's going to take off if it's ready to go. If not, it's going to go slowly here. We'll close that for break even or positive, watch it drop, and then buy again. All right, so the yen, we're looking for big buys. If you're watching this video for the first time, there's a reason we're looking to buy the yen. And the reason is the monthly, weekly, and daily. This is your monthly correction, monthly, weekly correction. This is your daily correction, and we're in a 4-hour correction right now. Let's go back to the 1 hour and look for that trade to the upside. So that is one we'll put on in the trading room. As soon as we finish here, we'll go to trading room and put that one on. It's not going anywhere yet, so it's still okay. CAD came down. And like I said, told you, look at the webinars on Monday. We've been selling the CAD in this part, and we're selling. Some of my traders sell it. One of my traders at least got 2 trades in there. I'm sure about that. When it breaks the low, stop doing that. Actually, when it breaks the low, start looking for buy setups, because every time they broke the low, they go back up. I think I've shown that in one of the videos, step by step, right? Not every chart does that. By the way, these are specific patterns. So not every time something breaks the low, you can say, oh, it's going to go back up. That is not what I'm showing you here, that all charts behave this way. We're talking about specific patterns, right? This one is a specific one, breaking the low and going back up. This doesn't do this every time. It's what we're looking at now, that I'm telling you this time it's going to break the low and go back up. Most times they just continue to go if they're trending. So don't Go trade with a strategy. Just every time it breaks low, I'll buy. Every time it breaks it up, I'll sell. You will get yourself in very, very big trouble. So we're looking at specific behavioral patterns of the chart. This is going to go up. I think you can take this off now. Those are two sells. We would look for buy setups. Sorry, this didn't go away. Why they're not going away? Oh, yep, sorry. Yep, so we would look for buy setup. There was a buy setup. I missed it. That's why I took the yen. I missed this one. There was a buy setup there, but we will get another buy setup here and we'll take the trade. They make flags very often, see? Even when they're going down or up, they make a lot of flags. You will get some trade setup to the upside. And when it comes to the top here, again, you put it to break even and see whether it breaks out. We want the breakout, not the small trade. So if it breaks out, you're going to have a very huge trade. If it doesn't break out, move your stop, take profit, watch it go down again. Aussie Swiss. This one came back to the top. So we were looking at this consolidation and we said that this might be ready to go. It went, it came back to the top. So you're just going to get a very big consolidation here. I don't think we didn't break the top. So we're probably going to come here and go back. You might get a series of consolidation here. So you can make very short trades in there or wait for it to finish and then get to the bigger trade. The bigger trade is to the upside. Aussie Yen is the same thing. You probably have a buy setup here today, especially if yen is going to go. When it comes here, you'll have to be careful because they can come back down. Or they might just take off. But the possibility to come back down is there. It might not even break out today, which means it might end up making a bigger consolidation here. Next week we come back down here and then we go. So it's a buy setup. We're looking for the buy. Aussie CAD. Very similar. You might eventually get that buy setup on the Aussie CAD now, but it's going really, really slow. You can put it here, anticipate this move up, but it's going like extremely slow. So you might not get the breakout. You can see that already, this piece. When they go so slow, they'll probably just repeat this. And if they do that, then it's going to drop again. You're going to still be in this big corrective structure. So two ways we're going to look at this. It's either it's going to take off or it's going to go really slow. So if it tags you and goes slow, get the hell out of the trade. If it takes off, that's your trade. Sorry. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, we're coming back down. All right, let's see if we think we have reached the level from where we can go down. Not likely. I still think we will go up some more. So let's keep an eye. This might just be a correction here and we'll continue to go. I'll expect them to come somewhere very close to this top. Let me put a line there so you can see. Very close to this top. Not breaking it, but coming very close because we're anticipating there's going to be a running flat pattern. So this might just be a 4-hour daily correction and then we go. Let's go back to the 1 hour and look at it. Just ignore it. It's just a correction in the making. We don't have any sell setups in that correction as yet. If we get a sell setup, it's going to be a very short-term trade. Euro-Aus. Euro-Aus, we were looking for a sell yesterday in the Euro-Aus here if this was going to break out, if this piece here was going to break out, but it didn't. So because we made an assumption that this could be all the correction. Well, that's not all the correction. So now we know we're going to retest this stop and then it's a sell. So the correction just becomes bigger. It's a much bigger correction. If you see it on the 4 hour, you'll see what we're looking at. They've had corrections like that before. It just becomes bigger like this or like this one or like this one, 1, 2, 3. This might be a good example. This is a contracting flat, but it might give you an idea what we're looking at, right? So this one here becomes something like that. Comes back here and then drop. It might not break that top. We're looking at this top here. Once it comes there, it's a sell setup. So we would look for the sell from the top there. Go back to the 1 hour. I'm not looking for any buy setups in here. It has to make a 4 hour consolidation before we buy. Any drop with 60 minutes flag will sell. Euro New Zealand, also a bigger correction. I think we might end up seeing this going more back to the top and then the drop. So no trade setups there as yet. Let's see if we have buy setups in it. No, not as yet. I think we took the entry. There was a buy setup here yesterday that we were looking for, but I think we took the entry off when this dropped. Right, that entry was taken off. So if we get a consolidation here, yeah, we can look for a buy to retest that up. But it's short-term trade. EuroCAD came down, went right back up. It's still going to go more. It's just going to consolidate. No, actually, it's going to go up. Yep, this one. I remember that when we were trading it during the CAD news, we said once it comes here, expect this could go back up, right? So if you get a flag here today, that's a good buy. Back to the top. Now, they don't go fast and they don't make small flags. You can see that, right? So this might stay here for a long time and then do this and then do that and then end up there. So it's your choice if you want to trade it. But that possibility expects, especially now that we have a reversal sign. That is a very good chance. We get a correction here. We can look for the trade. Euro Swiss, stay away from that. Euro Yen, it's not going anywhere and we don't have any buy or sell setups. It's still consolidating. If they consolidate here long enough, we might get a trade back to this level. If it goes higher, make a flag, we'll buy. Or if we get a flag here for the upside, we might consider the buy. I don't see anything right now tradable there. Euro Pound, now we're interested. So I wasn't interested in that sell. If you come Monday, I said that's a sell setup. I'm not interested in it. And I told you why, because we don't have a long-term trade to the downside. It's just going to drop here, make one more low and go right back up. You could have taken the trade and take a small profit out of it, right? It's possible. Now it's going up and we're interested in the upside of this, because the upside of this should come and break this top. Come on. After which we're going to go down. So what I'm looking for is for this to go back here and then come down. So the question is, how fast would we get to the top there? Every trade setup we get, we can buy. But if it goes like this, then you're in trouble because you will close it pretty fast. If it goes like this, that's good for us because then it's going to be a very good trade to the upside. But we're looking for the upside trade and then we're going to look for the downside. Pound Oz is not going as well. It's kind of going sideways. So we can expect that this could become a much bigger correction. First, we'll watch this level for this one. It's probably going to come here and then come back down. That's one option. Or like the bigger, like the Euro Oz, it could end up coming back all the way to the top here and then go down. This could become a big triangular looking pattern, and it could become a triangular pattern because all the waves in it are pretty similar, right? So if this goes back up, it will go sharp. So let's see how it behaves at this level. We wanted to see, look at this level. Right now, it's looking more like a sell. Let's take this off. Right now, it's looking more like a sell, especially since this is going up so slow. Watch this stop here. It might crawl up to that level. If we see this crawling up to that level, then we can get the sell. But if they start to break out of here, any flag we get, we'll take the trade. Because it doesn't necessarily have to go there. Pound New Zealand, we have a sell setup here. It's consolidating and we broke the top. So we're looking at this one. And this is a sell setup. So let's see. Pound Swiss, okay. Did it break the top? No, it hasn't broken the top. So I told you we were looking for the buy in the Pound Swiss, so we will not get the buy, but we'll allow it to come break this top and then the downside. Well, it's not breaking the top, so take that off. We don't have any trade in it. And I don't think you want to trade this until it breaks that top. So let's see what we're doing right now. This is what we have right now, and it's coming down, but I don't think that's downside movement as yet. It's just coming down, that's all. So I could see the possibility of them coming here and then going right back up, making a bigger flat for this piece, and then this would be a flat of its own here, and then you've got a smaller one here, and then you go break the top. This could be a trade. After which, expect the downside. So let's see if we get that small trade to the upside. If we don't get the trade, let it go, make the top, and then come back. Pound Yen, we were looking for this sell. We didn't get the sell. We canceled the trade. We put an entry order and we canceled it because it went back higher than we expected. Again, we're looking for the sell setup. We don't have a sell setup, which means if this comes here, go back up, we would expect it to come back here, go back up, and then get the downside, right? If it starts to drop, instead of going back up, just come straight down here, make any flag, any correction, we'll sell. Because we'd assume that this is the top. This is all correction. That's the top. This is a deeper than expected correction, but it's still a correction and we're dropping. So What we're looking for when we're looking at these smaller patterns is an entry point, because what we're looking for the direction of the trade is this. And this one we're expecting to go down. We're expecting it to go down from here, from here, from here, from here, and from here. So we're still expecting it to go down. You may say, well, why are we expecting it to go down when it's going to go up? And I would show you a very similar structure we had with the very same view on it that it's going to go up. So this is one, Pound Yen, go back on this. This is when? 2017, March to May. I want you to go back and look at this. Either, I don't know if I was trading video or on YouTube. There are videos of that date with this chart, and go and find this chart and you would see that the view we had was that this was going to go up, and it's going to go up, and it was going to go up, and it was going to go up, and it was going to go up. Especially if you're watching my videos for the first time, go look at that. Find the date, go on YouTube, find that video. You would see that our view was no matter what happens and how much days it went down lower, it was going to go up. You might also see the comments from some of the trolls that were there saying that, well, this guy has got to be crazy. For 40-something days, he's been telling us this thing is going to go up, and I think you can count the days starting from somewhere here to that. For 42 days, he's been telling us this thing is going to go up, and it keeps going down. Well, it didn't really give you trades to the downside, because you really can't trade in a situation like that. But if you weren't focused on trying to get the buy, you will miss it. It's not here where you make trades. This is what you make trades. That's where you make trades. A lot of traders got it. Those who were following me for those 42 days on a weekly basis, they got it because they were focused on the buy. Let me show you again. We're looking for the sell. I'm not looking for the buy. We're looking for the sell starting from 1, 2, 3. We started to look for the sell. Made a bigger one. We're looking, go up. We're looking for the sell. Can it go a little higher? Yes, I'm looking for the sell. If I don't get the sell, I don't get it, but I'm looking for the sell, because when the sell comes, you're going to get something like this. Let's hope, for the sake of you guys, it happens next week. So all of us get it, right? These patterns are very distinctive. They behave specific ways. 90% of the time, they would behave exactly like they behaved the previous times. And that's 90% of the time they will do that. 10%, we wouldn't get it. That's okay. It's not like exactly 10, but somewhere around that. You will not get it. There will be a little different pattern, but that's okay. We know what pattern they make eventually. As it develops, you can read into it. Punkat, here's another one. This thing likes to consolidate. Remember this one? This was going to break to the downside. When that happened, oh boy, everybody went crazy. Well, you just told us this thing is going to break to the downside, but it's going up. Yes, it is going to break to the downside. Keep your focus on the downside, not the upside, because it will break to the downside. Here is where we have a dilemma. I don't know which side it's going to break to. Not because I don't know what it's doing, but because the information we have right now tells us both sides are possible to break. It all depends on where you start reading that pattern from and how you read it. If you look at this as a contracting flat to end this move, then we are going down. But if you look at this as a possible expanding flat, this is your first impulse up. We haven't broken this low. We could be going up. See? So unless we break that low and change direction, then we can say, you know what? We're going down. This is the first impulse there. And unless we break that up and start going down, we cannot confirm downside. So it's not as simple as you look at it, but it's developing. It doesn't mean we don't know what it's doing. We have a very clear idea because we knew this was going to break down. We're looking at this pattern. We knew this was going to break down. I'm telling you this is going to go up. See this one here, 1, 2, 3. Big correction here. This is a 1, 2, 3 up back to the top. You had a 1, 2, 3 here to the top. From this point, that's where the trouble starts. We're either going to come back here to confirm this one and then go back up there to confirm that one. And either of these two moves would have to tell us something if we break this low or if we break this top. As long as they're not breaking one of those two, we don't have enough information to decide the direction. So let's wait and see. if you are confused, if you're watching me for the first, I think my traders pretty much follow everything I said. You can follow because you know the patterns and you know what I'm trying to look for in the patterns. But if you're watching me for the first time, or maybe you're not now start following me, you might be a little confused with what I said there. Don't worry. It all depends on what pattern you're looking for. Follow me next week again. And at least next week, you would have a little clearer view of what we're looking for. So on the shorter time frame, in this pattern, and that pattern in the shorter time frame, what we're looking for was this to break down. We expected to break the low. It didn't break the low. That is not significant. The fact that it didn't break the low is not so significant. It just changes the pattern, but not the structure. So what that means, they can still come and break the low. That's all it means. Or now they're going to go out without breaking the low. So we would wait for a pattern in here. And I think we might be getting one here for the upside. Let me just make that a little bigger. Yep, we might be getting a running flat in there for the upside. So we've got a sharp wave here. You'd always hear me say wait for another sharp wave. And if we get those two, we could get this trade to the upside. And that might be a very good trade today if we get it, right? So New Zealand yen, it's still going sideways. This is going sideways. We might look at possible running or expanding flat for upside. Could we be looking at a bigger flat here? It's possible. Keep an eye on it, guys. We'll decide which one it is. But it's upside. Both of them are showing you upside possibilities. New Zealand Swiss pulls back. We can't confirm upside unless it breaks out. The possibility is they can come back here, still be in this correction, and then go. All right? So if you get a flag, we'll sell. If we get an up move, we'll buy, which means the buy has to come on the breakout of this. And the sell could come simply in a flag. New Zealand CAD. If you took this trade, you probably would want to close it now because it's making a deeper correction. If you didn't close it then, close it now. It's going to make a deeper correction, and then we'll see whether this doesn't look like a running flat. This is too sharp. So we'll have to wait and see what it's doing there at that point. CAD yen. Let's see where we are in the bigger picture. We're looking for a sell from this one as well. And we don't have any sell setups. Go back to the 1 hour. Yeah, we don't have any sell setups. We had a flag here that broke to the upside. We weren't buying it. You can go back and check all my videos. We're not buying the CAD yen, although you could come and tag the top. We're looking for the sell setup. If we get a sell setup here today, will be that trade. CAD Swiss, stay out of it. I think one of my traders is in the sell. He was in the buy to the top yesterday in the trading room, and I said, okay, close it, look for sell setups. Why? If you look at the videos, I told you guys, ignore it, right? Because we were ignoring it. But he was in the buy. He had the patience to buy it from somewhere here and keep it. I think it was from somewhere here and kept it. And I said, well, if you trade this and you have so much patience, look for the sell setup because the sell setup might be faster. So I don't know whether he took, there was a flag there. I don't know whether he took it, but we're looking for this piece. And downside, you're gonna get a move like this back to the downside. So if you can trade the upside with that much patience, the downside for you should be a gift, right? It's also moving very slow. On the 1 hour, it's moving very slow. But if you have the patience to take a trade here and keep it to that level, and it's patience, then you trading downward should be easy for you because this is making a 1, 2, 3, and then it's gonna go back up. Right? We know what the structure is going to do. I just don't trade it. And I don't think we trade to the trading room because it's very slow. You can see you take the trade here and you have to wait forever to get a trade. But it's coming down nicely. It had a flag here. And you might get another flag here. Swiss yen. Upside. I don't think they will break out as yet because we haven't broken the low. They could still come back down. You'll have to be careful of this. Take this up. It could still come back down. We haven't broken the low. So in this pattern, the probability is they could drop again. But the bigger picture is upside. Whenever you get the setup for a buy anywhere from the low, you should take it. Okay, what is this doing? Just going sideways. I still think this piece looks more like a flat, or we're making a bigger one in here in reality. So no trade setups on it as yet. Even for the downside, I don't see. We will want this for the longer picture to the downside, which means longer term is downside. Short term, they can still go up quite a lot. The short term climb on this impulse could still go, but it's starting to look very much downside already. Starting to look very much downside. So keep your focus on the downside now. US oil, Okay, it dropped some more. So like I said yesterday, if they drop, watch this low. Actually, the sell was valid. If you took the sell, you may want to take it off already. It didn't take off. So if it didn't take off this buy entry. The buy entry was if it's going to take off. All you're getting is a much bigger consolidation here, right? I can see them coming to break this low here, maybe even up, back down, and then go. Or from this low, they can take off. Especially if it comes down fast without making a bigger correction, then it can take off. I'll just put this like this. That is not correct, but I'll put it like that for now. It will become correct eventually when we break the low. We haven't broken the low. We're just going sideways. UK oil, same thing. The UK oil was a better sell setup because it wouldn't give you profit, but in terms of the sell setup, it was a better one. Now they're just going sideways. We'll have to wait and see whether this becomes a flat or whether this becomes a flat. Both of those are possible. So there aren't any long-term trades on this. Just wait until the consolidation is finished, and then you'll get a trade set up. Yeah, like I said, it's going to drop to the low, but not keen on the sell because the sell is a little dangerous to you. You will probably get break even on it. They pull back very sharp on it most times, so break even would be the trade. Let it go break the low. The upside is the trade. There's a big trade to the upside once you break the low. I don't think they're coming back way back to the low here. And even if they're coming too slow to trade. So if we get a nice correction to the upside, if we get something like this and then drop, this could be a better trade. Because if you take it from here, then you will get a good chance of getting something like that. You will get a bigger impulse to the downside. Oh, this one actually went some more, and it went pretty good. I think it was here, and it keeps coming. You're getting another correction here, so this should be another up move. Take profit on every one. Every time you enter and it stops to correct, take profit. Same here. This one is pulling back, so if you enter in this one, you're already out of that trade. Let's see if we get it to go up more. It's breaking out, so when they break out, wait for correction and sell it back to the low. Just wait for the correction and sell it back to the low. S&P 500, it's pulling back, and that could either be a pullback for upside or the start of the downside. You don't have any sell setup there. You can have a buy setup if it takes off back to the top. It could be a buy. But in terms of sell, no, you don't have any sell setup there. So if it's going to drop, you have to let it drop, make a correction, then sell it. DAX, if you bought DAX, you got a break even because it came back. Go there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Close it for break even, right? On the sell setup in DAX, let's see. It's all consolidation, right? So if you're buying or you're selling, it's still within a consolidation zone. So there was a small one there. Wait for a pullback here. Look for a running flat. Get this one down. This could be a trade setup back to this low. So if you get that running flat there, then that's a sell setup. Aussie 200, it's coming back. So if you're in the buy, you might want to be careful. Big picture is downside. Short term, they were going up because we have this consolidation. I actually think they can go back and test the top. We have to figure out this again. I can't remember what it was. Weekly, let me see if we have it. Oh yeah, it could go break the top, sorry. This is gonna go break the top because we are assuming that this is the big running flat because we don't have any other trade. I don't have any other thing in this. So if anybody has the chart with more of this, please send it to me so I can, decide which, if this is stop making one of its own here or it belongs to this one, right? So if those two are the combination, then this one is going to go higher. Look for more buy setups. When it breaks the top, that's when we're going to look for the trouble to start for the downside. But right now it's going very good. It's going slowly, so which means, and that's why we're looking for the buy here. Take the small profit, wait for this consolidation to finish this, whatever this is doing here to finish. If it comes back here, and then look for the trade up. Right. Nifty, you're getting another consolidation. That's another buy setup. The only thing you would watch this is when it starts to drop. When it starts to drop, any one of these drop can make a correction. Only if you get a correction, then we will start the sell from the top coming down. Let me go back to the, sorry, go back here and go back to the 1 hour. Yeah, these one, right? This didn't make a correction. That means you buy. If you're not getting a correction, you buy on the flag to the upside. If you get a long-term correction, then it becomes a sell. Tesla still consolidating. Wait for it to finish. Look for buy setups. Amazon still consolidating. It's still consolidating. It's still in the consolidation zone, right? So either wait for a flag here in a correction to buy one more up, or something to sell back to this low. We're still in this zone, so it's making it very, very complex. I could see this going on for a while, and then the upside. Okay, this one is consolidating for a sell here. It looks like it's consolidating here for a sell. We've got a sharp impulse coming out of that. Look for a buy setup short term here if we get it back to this top, and then we'll get a flat here. Assume that this is the impulse, right? This whole thing is the impulse. The gap means that the price has moved there. We don't have a candle there, but it has moved. Okay, you might get, I don't think this one will get more complex, but if it gives you a flag here, expect it to come back here. What I would look for is them to come here, come back here, and then go. Like make a flat at the top there to confirm the upside. Unless this is becoming a very large, drawn out correction. So good. This one you can look at, because I've been explaining this in details to everybody. When it was here, you would expect it to come back to the top, break the top, come back down. The sell is a good one. I'm not sure that this is the start of the impulse to the downside, because the pattern could be a little more complex than that. This is a 1, 2, 3. That's clear. This is a sharp one. This one is not so clear. It would have been better if it was a sharp move up, but it turns out to be a 1, 2, 3 up. So the C wave or the A wave could have 3 waves, while the other one is a sharp wave. That's not excluded. That there's no rule to that. If you get a setup here, sell it back to this level. And from that level, we'll see what happens. It looks like the up move is finished. It doesn't mean it's finished. They can go a little more up because the impulse is way at the top here. But it looks like it's finished to the upside. And if they give you a consolidation here, if you get a consolidation here or a flag or something, that's a sell setup. That'd be a good idea for a sell. Bitcoin came down. Yep, nothing new, right? So probably the only thing is that it came a little more than expected. I didn't think they would break the low, because I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, go back up, then come down, right? Again, well, they broke the low, so that's good news for us when they break the low. All they tell us is that if this is the 1, 2, 3 we're looking for, then this up move will come back to something like that, give you a running flat, and then come back down. The question at that point will be, is this the start of the fall? And it will fall. There's no question about it. Or is this just a bigger correction for upside? What do you care? Sell it, right? When it goes back up, and it likely will go back up, this is the pattern we're looking for. We'll track it next week, so you can follow me next week to see how we look at the developments. We're anticipating this move back up. And then we'll be looking at this possibility for a running flat here. And then we'll expect it to drop. So if you get a buy setup here, you can consider that trade and then take your profit. If it becomes an expanding flat, good for you. Then take your profit, and then we'll see where it goes from there. XRP, no news, right? So somebody said they didn't think XRP was going to drop more in the comments on the YouTube video, that they don't see XRP dropping lower than where it is, right? So I said, you know what? I think it can, and I think it can come to 10. So right now, it doesn't look like this one is going to go because of this big flat, right? Either we looked at this as the correction, and that big flat is not supposed to be here, they're supposed to go down, or we're making a much long, drawn-out, complex correction. So this becomes 1, 2, 3. They go back up like this, give you a 1, 2, 3, and then they fall, right? Then that fall comes. It's still going to come because that is not a corrective structure. We're not making a corrective structure. See this here? You could have seen this very clearly. We saw that, right? So you're getting this move down, and you can see that they might repeat. See this correction in here? We've got that move up. What we're getting is a correction in here. So their chances are this is going to go back up there, and then you get the final drop, which might be something like this, right? Now, the question you're going to ask me, so what if this is a correction here for total upside? Just like this one is a correction for a big drop to the downside. Then we would have to assume that this is all the correction. It stops here and we're going back up. You have to look at the daily to see whether that is possible. See? The daily is not showing us that possibility. By the way, some of you who are following me, you can go back and see there was a short video I did on the buy and the on XRP when it was here. That buy, and then it pulled back, and I said, look for another buy from here, right? So we were showing you one of my traders even got XRP buy from 11. I hope he closed and took some profit in this piece. That's where you take some profit. So what I'm looking at is this possibility, that this was a 1, a 2, and a 3. If that is correct, then this should come break the low and then go back up, right? That is the possibility I'm looking at. So I don't see this one going up all the way to the top, but just in case, what you can do if you think that is the case, let's say you believe, well, that correction is going to totally take off. All we have to do is do this. Go to the 4 hours. Wait for this to give us a buy setup here and take it back to retest this stop. Put it to positive. So let's go to the 1 hour. We broke the low, right? Once we broke the low in a corrective structure like this, we were anticipating that they can go right back up and test the top, right? Come on, what's wrong with this? They can go right back up and test the top. So if we get a buy setup here today, take it back to the top, put it to break even, move your stops as it comes to this top, because from that point, it can go right back down. This could still be a 1, a 2, a 3, and then we go down. If I'm wrong about that, and the correction actually ended here, and this one is going to take off, it's not a bad choice. You can go for that trade. But I still think it's going to come down because we've seen these patterns and we understand how they behave. So the high probability is for it to come back down. So for now, this is the drop we're looking for. What for this trade up? Let's hope it doesn't become like this one, where you get a move up and then you get a correction like this before you go up, right? So if it comes here and it starts to correct like that, then you'll have to wait for a long time before you get that trade. You don't have to buy it and keep it. We will have enough chance to exit and then wait. So let's see how that goes. ETH dropped. It's a running flat, and this is a good reason why, the chances are. Remember, I had this line and said, even if they break the top, it's going to come back, make a running flat, look for a trade to the upside. At least one more impulse to the upside. Now, this one on the daily has completed the pattern we were looking at, right? No, sorry, not this one, the next one. My fault. This one actually just came and break the top, right? But it's going to go one more up because we have a pattern that says it's likely going to go one more up. So you can look for buy setup at least for one more impulse to the upside, and then we'll see when that buy setup is ready. There is no buy setup as yet. If this consolidates here, it becomes a buy, but it can still drop and still drop and still drop. LTC, this one completed the pattern. Yep, this one completed the pattern. We're looking at this pattern here. And once you break the top, you can consider pattern completed. It's not ended the impulse, but the pattern itself can be considered completed. At any time that we think this is the top, the sell is a good idea. So if you get a sell set up here and you took it, you did the right thing. Put it to break even once this drop. So this one could fall much, much more. It could also become a flat, which means they can become here and then still go back up one more. But be aware that if there's any fall coming, this one could fall, right? So this is the best one for the fall. Short term, it could still make one more up. I will not buy this. I'd rather buy the Ripple, maybe the Bitcoin, but not this one if I'm buying, right? So that's it. I think we've completed everything. We have a series more of charts here, but these are charts that we look at in our trading room because some of our traders trade those, not all. selectively, we have traders who trade these, and we have traders who are in trade even on this chart, right? Actually, if the buy setup is coming, yesterday we discussed this. We have a trader who trade this, so you're going to get a buy setup there. But not everybody trade them, so we don't look at them so much. And then this, we're already more than an hour, right? This thing will take hours and hours to go if we just, I think I started 9 something, close to 10, and it's already more than an hour. So you can't have these videos so long. Nobody watches them that much. You could just watch the part you want, right? So if you watch the video to the end, if you manage to get to the end, please like the video, please share the video, and keep watching. You have 1 more week of webinars to come. And for my traders or the traders who are watching this, please, when you watch it, share it. Help us. If you like it, share it. Click a like, leave a comment, right? The more you share it, the more the possibilities, the more people get to see it. So thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. I will see my traders in the trading room immediately after this. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend once again.